Welcome back to the channel. Listen, watch what they're doing. They're telling you what's coming. They're telling you the truth through their actions, but they're lying through what they're telling you verbally and in articles. In my humble opinion, you don't have to agree, but let me show you. I'm going to show you something, right? And then you'll understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Now, you have all the major banks telling the smaller banks, telling all these financial entities that stable coins are not stable. They're not sound money. They told them that. We read that, right? All right. They're not saying that for no reason. That's number one. Number two. Oh, they're going to push. These companies are pushing US dollar stable coins. You really believe that that's the end goal? So they're pushing US dollar stable coins, which are pretty much, let's just say they're pushing the US dollar. In a world that's increasingly, to this day, increasingly rejecting the US dollar. Now, someone may argue against that, and they may say, hey, well, Mick, some of those countries have pulled back from that for now. And they say, you know what? We'll continue to use the US dollar. Yeah, for the next 3 years. Listen, it's this. You don't think that after the next 3 years, the U.S. goes through another change as they do every 4 years, that those countries will go right back to that same position? They just wait things out. That's how people do. They wait things out and then they return to their original mission and goal. Their mission and goal is not to use U.S. dollar. But once again, it stands as a fact that to this day, countries are trying to find a way to not use the U.S. dollar. They're dollar dumping, whatever phrase they want to put. So U.S. dollar is not wanted. So where are you going to be using this RLUSD, this USDC, etc.? It's not smart for business. It doesn't have universal reach. So already we've uncovered two major factors that tell us, wait a minute, something is fishy here. Why would you push something that's not going to be used globally? Then what is going to be used globally? What? Third thing. I believe it's the third thing. It is the third thing, right? You're keeping count, not me. Liquidity. It's a lie. Stable coins do not have liquidity, or they don't have sufficient liquidity. Look how fast those bank runs depegged the stable coins. Wait a minute. Did anything change since that time? No. Why? Because of requirements. What are the requirements? Oh, they're backed by dollars, cash. They're backed by dollars, and then they're backed by T-bills, things like that. Really? That's what they were backed with before. Did that save them before? No, it didn't. It didn't, but wait. If that's not sufficient liquidity, because correct me if I'm wrong, if it was sufficient liquidity, then when there are bank runs, and that's going to happen from time to time, we've lived through a few of them, and we've lived through a few of them globally. We've gotten to see them happen globally. We saw them in the U.S., we saw them in China, we've seen them in a few places. You like that one? For emphasis. You see that look right there? That's for emphasis. If it doesn't stop the depegging of that, then that's not real liquidity. That's not sufficient liquidity. Number three. So where does that liquidity come from when you need it? And they know they're going to need it. Listen, folks, I'm telling you, the bank coin companies are smart. They're smart. And I say that in comparison to the legacy system. You have to understand the legacy system has been arrogant for a long time, right? They haven't needed to hire the most brilliant minds. So they don't have the best chess players. I mean, in life is like a game of chess. They don't have the best players, the best chess players, the best strategists. They don't. They didn't need it. They're so big. They're so powerful. This is how people look at them. They get away with whatever they want. At least that's how it used to be. They were riding high off the system, abusing the system. They didn't need to hire the most brilliant minds. Why do I say that? Because the bank coin companies did. They did. They hired people with very high IQs early on, got them right under their wing. Yeah. And so they're very good at strategizing. They're very good at foresight in analyzing opponents. And they looked at the legacy system and they analyzed them and saw the weakness. Oh, they're not prepared. Oh, there's a fiat currency problem. which means they're going to need our native token, the liquidity token, to generate the most liquidity, biggest liquidity cushion. And when it does save them, because the T-bills won't save them, that backing, the cash won't save them, it didn't save them before. Then what happens? Whether they back it with XRP liquidity directly, or they liquidate that XRP into dollars, whatever, and they back it that way, it doesn't make a difference. Once they're saved, they'll be in that whole that state of, oh, my hero. You know how that goes. They'll cling to it. The truth will be revealed through harsh circumstances for the legacy financial system. And that's all the proof a Bankcoin company like a Ripple or a Hedera, etc., would need to show them and say, hey, you ready now? They flip that switch. Maybe it doesn't take that. This is merely one pathway. There's at least 6 different ways this goes down. This is just merely one, but I want to address the one that we really don't talk about. So now it's depegged. There's bank runs happening. All of those problem banks, which there were thousands. And that was about a year and a half to 2 years ago. We read that document. Thousands. Got the report this year. They said it only became worse. That's a lot of banks that could go down, especially globally. That's a lot of banks that could go down. But the ones we were talking about, the thousands, that was in the U.S. That was in the U.S. alone. They would have to cling to the liquidity. They would have to cling to the global reach of an XRP. Something akin to that. Next point. This is point number 4 or 5, something like that. I'm giving you a bunch. Look all of this up. Look into it. And while you're at it, take those strong hands, ball them up like this, leave one finger up on each hand, choose one of those, and boom, blast that like button. It doesn't take a lot. Next point. You know there's a fiat currency problem, folks. You know it. I know it. Want proof? They're all running from it. Their central banks are saying that there's a problem with it. Their central banks are saying there's a problem with the digital pegged stablecoins pegged to the fiat currency. And then you see them all running from it to gold. They're protecting themselves. Even high money individuals. Did you see the article that I covered in one of the videos? Go through the last 5 videos. Just go to one of the last chapters. It'll say like article 3 or 4. It's about gold and high value investors flocking to gold, just like I've been telling you they were this whole year. But that confirmed it from, professional companies, because some people need that. They're like, you're saying that, I'm saying it from what I've researched. We don't have time to waste here. I'm not just talking off the top of my head. High value individuals flocking to gold. Why? What do they? Gold is a protective asset. What do they protect themselves from? Central banks flocking to gold to protect themselves, which they literally said. Why? What was their reasoning for protecting themselves from what? There's a fiat currency problem. The system. There's a huge malfunction coming. And they don't want their value to be at risk. All right. But if we're going to acknowledge that, my point is, if we're going to acknowledge that, then you have to acknowledge that everything they're talking about with stablecoins is a smokescreen. They're going to live through it again. Listen, folks, there's no way around it. No way. They didn't change anything. The only thing that's different, and that's why I like to take something like RLUSD, which 100% Ripple knows this. That's why they're so giddy about XRP. What was the second tattoo that Brad Garlinghouse just got? Did he get an RLUSD tattoo, folks? No, he didn't. He got an XRP tattoo. Do you know why? He's old school. It means something. I don't say this for my health. I'm telling you what I know. Old school folks, they're in the military, they get a tattoo here or there. Somebody's mother, left this world, they get a tattoo. It means something. He got a second XRP tattoo. He didn't get RLUSD. Why? They're excited about XRP. Why? There's something going on behind the scenes, major. They know it. They're here to make money. How much money do stablecoins really generate? I know. All right, I'm letting you get it out. I know. You're thinking, you're talking right now with the screen. I can feel the energy. Believe it or not, it doesn't make a difference. Now, but let's read this together, okay? It says, while Circle is a profitable company, analysts and industry observers have raised concerns about its ability to maintain and grow profitability going forward. I think this part here is what the person was talking about. It says reliance on interest rates. A significant portion of Circle's revenue comes from interest earned on the reserves that back its stablecoin, USDC. Ripple doesn't need to earn interest on anything to make a hell of a lot of value. Part of my wording. They have XRP, and as XRP, utility is being actuated upon as more and more entities are trying to hold XRP in treasuries. We already see that beginning. That price is going to skyrocket. So this cannot be a main interest for them, right? This is analysts like Dan Dolev of Mizuho have highlighted the risk of falling interest rates. So does Ripple want to rely on interest rates when it comes to RLUSD? No, right? So this is a big part of Circle's business. It says they highlighted the risk of falling interest rates impacting Circle's revenue, stating that a decline could lead to 20 to 30% drop in revenue. 20 to 30%. That's definitely a game changer. So once again, apply this to RLUSD. It's backed by T-bills, is backed by cash, etc., other things. Is this something that Ripple would want to worry about when it comes to a stablecoin? No. Why don't they have to worry about it? Because of XRP. They have XRP. XRP solves every single problem. So now, okay, let's move on to another article here. I have to get out of here very soon. My apologies. It's been a busy time period. So now, let's go here. I just wanted to show you that. Then they highlight competition and commoditization, revenue sharing agreements. They're paying out other, revenue to partners like Coinbase. Stable coins are not stable. When you see them, when I see them, let me put it that way. I speak for myself. When I see them, I see a smoke screen. I see a door opener. And the Bankcoin companies know it. They're setting the legacy system up so that when the house of cards falls, the legacy system has to cling to the native tokens. And then the Bankcoin companies will take over. They are the banks of the future. I said this long ago. We're starting to see that come to fruition. They're applying for banking licenses. A lot of them. They are the new financial system for real. And the native tokens are their key to a level that no other company has ever seen. So now, let's go here to, a little bit of RWA news, actually. So now, this article is titled, Bitwise CIO reveals 4,000x prediction, says Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and others will be impacted from one booming trend. Folks, I'm telling you, this is why I always bring up RWA, but I do think RWA is a little bit further into the future, which is a good thing. That means, in my humble opinion, if it plays out the way that I'm seeing, that means there's this extra, maybe it's the final massive, I'm talking about life-altering explosion that occurs when it comes to the top cryptos. It will be the big one. Everything will be tokenized, but the question is, what is the timeline on that? We all have to decide that for ourselves. It says here, Matt Hogan, the chief investment officer of crypto asset management firm Bitwise, is predicting an explosion in the tokenization of traditional assets. Of course, why not? Why would they not unlock all that value? That value is sitting there. It's going to be easy to move. There's a lot of buyers. There's a lot of buyers. People that actually know the value of things and know how to work it so they can sell it for more, and they will. That'll happen. That'll happen multiple times. And then people that are just very confident, or maybe even overconfident, feel like they could flip something. Companies are going to want that. They have things they want to move, and other companies have wanted to acquire those things for a long time. Now they can fragment it and sell it. This is going to be huge. It says in a new blog post, in my humble opinion, Hogan says that the transition of stocks, bonds, and other real world assets onto blockchains instead of traditional systems may happen much quicker than he previously thought. Okay, is he going to release a timeline for us? Quote, I still think it will take more than a decade before the majority of stock and bond trading happens on chain. Is it possible? Sure. He said majority. That does so parts. It will happen in parts, as most things do. But I think the impact on the prices of those who are going to majorly be moving that value is going to be felt much faster than the next decade. The next 10 years. I say the next 3 years. I don't think they want to wait. It doesn't seem that way, does it? No. They're pushing very hard right now. They want experiences now. They see that things change dramatically in the world. You never know what the heck the world is going to be in the next month or two. Just madness everywhere. Change is the only constant, right? Then on top of that, you see that I think a lot of them are understanding that no matter who you are, life can be fleeting. Like you're not promised tomorrow. So they don't want to wait is what I'm saying. And I think that's why you're seeing this massive push. So I think I'm in the next 3 years or so. That's what I'll say. Next 3 years. My apologies. I have like this other stuff on my mind. I want to get this done as well. This is what makes me feel good during the day right here. This makes me feel the best right now. So I want to get this done, but I'm like thinking about this other stuff that's causing me to stumble over my words a little bit. Now you understand. All right. So now let's carry on. It says, but with major financial firms like Robinhood and TradeWeb, no disrespect. I just literally read that by accident the wrong way. TradeWeb positioning themselves for the transition today. I've started to wonder. Exactly. Well, I don't know why you would reference Robinhood. BlackRock wants RWA. Let's just be real, but you don't want to say their name because a lot of people, especially businesses, fear BlackRock. And for good reason. Robinhood and TradeWeb. BlackRock wants it. Valkyrie wants it. Wisdom Tree wants it. They made that known. Heck, they were so giddy at one, and this was during the bloody bear market. They were so giddy, it was unbelievable. That tells you everything you need to know. And that was like, what, a year ago? Year and a half ago? 2 years ago? So they're starting now because they want it now. So he continues, I've started to wonder, could tokenization achieve 1 to 5% penetration in a few years? Why undersell yourself? Have a little bit of fun. Let's look at both sides. 1 to 5%. Sure. But is it possible for 8 to 10%? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. See, we actually experience how easy that is when we experience all the various different ways they were able to go about NFTs, with the pictures, the art. And then from there, even though a lot of people, I don't believe, participated in it, they started doing real estate. You had a couple of real estate offerings. They fragmented the stuff. You buy a piece of this big building or house or whatever. They did that. So I don't think that these people are informed of how easily that occurred. Right? We lived through it. We experienced it. Right. This could be easy. Let's continue on. It says, could a dozen major pilot projects lift us to that level of market penetration? It depends on who. But once again, you're referencing Robinhood and TradeWeb. No disrespect whatsoever do I intend to them, toward them. Talk BlackRock. That makes people feel the gravitas of what we're speaking about right now. Ripple wants it. They were the first to talk about RWA. Okay, so you may say, well, they're not a major. They are a major mover. They are one of the major rails. XRPL will be one of the major rails. XRPL, Hedera, make no mistake about it. Look how many powerful entities are on that governing board of Hedera. You think that's for no reason? We just weren't able to see it actuated upon because at the time, everything was restricted. They held us back. Now we're not held back. What's going to happen? They're there for a reason. Give it some time. I mean, you don't have to give it anything, but that's how I convey that. I say, if you're an observer, observe over time and watch what happens with stuff like that. It's just an example. They'll be heavy in it. I think Solana will be heavy in it because it's, for whatever reason, companies love Solana. And if you believe that they're not also going to look at Solana, especially because of its smart contract capability, when it comes to RWA, I don't know what to tell you. But let's read what else he says here. This is actually interesting. It seems possible, it says, and it would translate into trillions of dollars. Yes. Trillion. Here we go with the trillions again. He's saying it, not me this time. Right. Tell the people again, sir. It would translate into trillions of dollars. I said that. That was kind of weird. I said that because I'm picturing him saying it in my mind, but then I had to read it again. I was like, maybe we shouldn't have said that, right? More than any other crypto application or asset, including Bitcoin. Yes, we know that. I know that. I won't say we. I don't know what everyone knows out there. The realizations that they've had. I know that. That's why I look forward to seeing that day. Interbank payments is my primary. That bank money is so close. But RWA is right there. That could be a very brilliant play right there. All right. So now let's see if I can squeeze a little. I thought I was going to talk about Bitcoin a little bit in that one. Not sure how long the video is now, but let's squeeze this one in. This is a good article here. I have maybe like 4 or 5 more articles up here, but I will post some of those later in the members only section. Now, this article is titled "Bitcoin hits $113,000 all-time high, but analysts predict 200K." And this is why I said I wasn't worried. The entire time they were flooding my feed with articles negative. Oh, Bitcoin might be over. The bull run might be over. Bitcoin might be done. And I wasn't worried. And I said that. And now that justifies it. Of course not. 113,000 doesn't mean there's not going to be corrections and dips. I'm not saying that for the future. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm not a psychic either. But this is very, very good. And it once again reaffirms trust in yourself, trust in your mind. If I were one of those people that listened to all the article writers and such like that, I probably wouldn't feel too great about Bitcoin up until now, right? Letting them move my emotions back and forth. Now let's read this little tidbit here. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of $113,833.84 on July 10th. Just a preview. That's all this is. You haven't seen anything yet. Bitcoin, in my humble opinion, has a long way to go. Long way to go. I'm not saying it's going to go up forever or into some long years. No. But as far as price, yes, I think you can go much higher. It's the first time that the cryptocurrency's price has surpassed $113,000 mark in its short history of 16 years. Daily MACD has just turned positive. Last week, the blue line moved above the signal line and the green bars are rising, indicating that momentum is growing. If it continues above the plus 1400 region, it will lead to strong price rallies with a new high in Bitcoin. The previous high was $111,970 and is now the support level. If that level is breached, the next critical level to watch is $109,000. Let me scroll down. I just want to see if they have anything else here. Bear with me one moment, please. See, I ask respectfully. I treat you with respect. All right, let's go up here. So we're going to leave off with that for today. Once again, like I said, I got to do some running around. I know you probably do as well. I thank you all for being here with me, walking through this journey, allowing me to share my research with you. Appreciate that. And I hope you did click that like button. Hope you did. And so now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.